waits with bated breath as seven-time world champion Ronnie O'Sullivan approaches his final decision about participating in the 2024 World Snooker Championship. The tournament, set to begin on April 19th at Sheffield's Crucible Theatre, may or may not feature one of the sport's greatest ever players, with O'Sullivan maintaining he will make a last-minute call. Jason Francis, O'Sullivan's snooker manager, provided crucial insight into the player's thought process during an appearance on the 147 Snooker podcast. Francis said, "He seems to have a cue that he's happy with. He is hitting balls, but he said nothing different to me than he said to everyone else. He will decide, last minute, whether he wants to go." The 49-year-old snooker legend hasn't competed since a dramatic incident at January's Championship League where he snapped his cue in frustration during a match against Ali Carter before storming off. This outburst marked the beginning of a prolonged absence from competition that has seen O'Sullivan withdraw from multiple high-profile tournaments. Among the events missed were the Masters in January, where he was scheduled to face fellow class of 92 member John Higgins, as well as the German Masters, Welsh Open, and World Grand Prix. These withdrawals have raised concerns among fans about O'Sullivan's future in the sport and his potential participation in the upcoming World Championship. Francis emphasized the importance of O'Sullivan's mental state in the decision-making process. "The only thing I've said is that if you're going to go, then you have to go and give it everything. If you don't feel right, and if it's mental health or anxiety, bear in mind I've been party to see this." The manager drew parallels with other players' experiences, citing Welsh professional Jamie Jones as an example. He said, "I read that Jamie Jones walked up to a venue and the anxiety got so bad he walked away." For Ronnie O'Sullivan, the money he can earn at the World Championship, you can argue, won't change his life. O'Sullivan himself addressed his recent tournament withdrawals in a statement to fans. "I realize plenty of people who bought tickets to some recent snooker events will have been frustrated when I withdrew. I just wanted to say sorry to those of you who've been disappointed with me having to pull out of those tournaments." The snooker star explained his reasoning. "I've been trying to prioritize my health and well-being, which sometimes means making last-minute decisions not to play. It's never an easy decision, and I hate letting people down." He concluded with an optimistic note, "I'm doing what I can to get back to my best." Recent developments suggest positive signs for O'Sullivan's potential return. The player has been spotted practicing at his Ronnie O'Sullivan Academy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, which opened in October 2024. He shared an update on Instagram. The Instagram post read, "Another great day at the Ronnie O'Sullivan Academy out here in Riyadh. Played a few frames against some exciting emerging talent, and it felt really good to be back out on the table." Fans responded enthusiastically to the post, with one user commenting, "Be yourself, and if you play at the world, great. If not, then no worry, love you, Ronnie." While another added, "You need to make it to Sheffield, Ronnie. History will be made." O'Sullivan's potential participation carries significant weight for the tournament. A victory would see him break the modern-era record he currently shares with Stephen Hendry by claiming an 8th world title. He already holds the record for most Triple Crown titles, with 23 across his career, having won his first World Championship in 2001 and most recently in 2022. The physical toll of previous victories has been substantial, as O'Sullivan explained to TNT Sports. "Last time I won it in 2012, 2013, I got up Monday morning and I could do it again. That was easy. When I won it in 2020, I woke up on Monday morning and felt all right. But then for 10 days, I just couldn't even think straight." After his 2022 triumph, he admitted, "I felt like my body had been battered." O'Sullivan's recent struggles extend beyond physical challenges. He said, "It's been a real struggle. I've tried to play my way through. I've had moments and glimpses where I thought, okay, this is okay. But on the whole, probably 3.5 years out of the last 4 have been pretty terrible for me, and that's kind of took its toll." The January cue snapping incident represented a breaking point. O'Sullivan says, "I kind of got a bit tired. It kind of ground me down to the point where I kind of lost the love for the game. And that's why, in January, I snapped my cue just in temper, in frustration. I don't really want to feel like that, so I've taken time out."
Even out of breath. I was dying. And that's when I got into the running. I was already out of Riyadh, So I was in a decent place, but this was just like the final piece, I think, the jigsaw for me. Do you know what I mean? Just for like my mental health. Hashtag mental health. I've been saying it for 20 odd years, mate. That's the funny thing. People go, you know, when I was like come off the table, he's not, he's this, he's that, he's not right. Now all of a sudden it's cool. I was 20 years ahead of the game, mate.
The snooker world faces an anxious wait as 7-time world champion Ronnie O'Sullivan remains undecided about participating in this year's World Snooker Championship at the Crucible. The tournament begins on April 19th, but the 49-year-old legend has refused to commit, citing ongoing physical and mental health challenges that have plagued his season. O'Sullivan's last competitive appearance came in January at the Championship League, where his frustration boiled over after losing 4 of his 5 matches. The breaking point came when he snapped his cue during the event and withdrew from his final scheduled match. This marked the beginning of an extended absence from the tour, with subsequent withdrawals from the Masters, German Masters, Welsh Open, and World Grand Prix. In explaining these withdrawals, O'Sullivan offered a mix of exhaustion and medical reasons. "I've been trying to prioritize my health and well-being," he stated, while apologizing to disappointed fans. His form has deteriorated to such an extent that he admitted being unable to practice consistently, expressing deep concerns about his current game. The physical toll of past World Championship victories has become a significant factor in O'Sullivan's hesitation. He revealed stark differences in his recovery experiences over the years. "Last time I won it in 2012, 2013, I got up Monday morning and I could do it again. That was easy." However, his more recent triumphs tell a different story. He says, "When I won it in 2020, I woke up on Monday morning and felt all right. But then, for 10 days, I just couldn't even think straight." The 2022 victory proved equally punishing. "I felt like my body had been battered," O'Sullivan admitted, attributing the harsher recovery to age. These experiences have clearly influenced his current cautious approach. He told TNT Sports, "On the whole, probably 3.5 years out of the last 4 have been pretty terrible for me, and that's taken its toll." O'Sullivan's relationship with snooker has always been complex, but recent months have seen particular struggles. "It ground me down to the point where I lost the love for the game," he confessed, explaining his cue snapping incident in January. "That's why, in January, I snapped my cue just in temper, in frustration. I don't really want to feel like that, so I've taken time out." The snooker icon has played just 8 tournaments in 2025, taking extended breaks between events. His recent update suggests some improvement. "I feel all right, I feel okay," but remains non-committal about Sheffield. "I don't have any expectations of what I might do or might not do when I come back," he said. "At some point, it's just getting back in there, I suppose. That's the most important thing." O'Sullivan's manager, Jason Francis, provided additional insight into the player's current situation. "He seems to have a cue that he's happy with. He is hitting balls," Francis said on the 147 Snooker podcast. However, he emphasized the mental health considerations. "If you don't feel right, and if it's mental health or anxiety, it has to be at what cost to his mental health." Francis drew parallels with other players' experiences, mentioning Jamie Jones's tournament anxiety as an example. He noted the different pressures facing O'Sullivan compared to lower-ranked professionals. For Ronnie O'Sullivan, the money he can earn at the World Championship won't change his life. Their anxiety is at such a point they can't face playing that. The potential historic significance adds another layer to O'Sullivan's decision. A record 8th Crucible title would surpass Stephen Hendry's modern-era benchmark, an achievement that remains within reach for the veteran. His past dominance at the event is unquestionable. "I've never found any world championship that I've won hard work because I've probably won every match by 5-6 frames. But current circumstances make participation uncertain." O'Sullivan's admiration for athletes across other sports offers insight into his competitive mindset. He praised darts phenom Luke Littler, an incredible phenomenon, sprint legend Usain Bolt, and runner Jakob Ingebrigtsen. His broader sporting interests include Formula One and tennis, where he follows Novak Djokovic and rising stars like Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. The timeline for O'Sullivan's decision appears deliberately late. "I'll probably make a decision on maybe April 17th or 18th," he stated just days before the tournament begins. This approach allows maximum time to assess his readiness while keeping fans and organizers in suspense. His recent statement captured the dilemma. "I'd love to be able to go there and play. I'd love to be able to have the confidence to be able to get my cue out and go and play snooker." The coming days will reveal whether the physical and mental challenges can be overcome for another Crucible campaign. The World Snooker Championship holds special significance in O'Sullivan's career. His first title came in 2001, with the most recent in 2022. The tournament's extended format and intense pressure create unique demands that now weigh heavier on the veteran player. Ronnie O'Sullivan's participation in the 2025 World Snooker Championship hangs in the balance as the snooker legend contemplates withdrawing from the sport's most prestigious event to pursue alternative opportunities. The seven-time world champion, currently tied with Stephen Hendry for most Crucible titles in the modern era, has not played a competitive match since January, fueling speculation about his future in the game. Before we start the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. Ronnie O'Sullivan's potential absence would mark a significant moment in snooker history. O'Sullivan has withdrawn from 5 major tournaments this season: the Masters, World Grand Prix, Scottish Open, German Masters, and Welsh Open, citing medical reasons for each absence. His only competitive appearance in 2025 ended in frustration at the Championship League, where he lost 4 of 5 matches before snapping his cue and withdrawing from his final scheduled game. O'Sullivan revealed to TNT Sports that until recently, he hadn't picked up his cue for a month and seriously considered skipping the World Championship entirely. O'Sullivan said, "Up until about a month ago, I hadn't actually picked my cue up, and I had no intention of picking my cue up. I was thinking about going to this year's World Championship and maybe helping one of the players on the circuit that might need someone in their corner." The snooker icon outlined 2 potential paths if he chooses not to compete. "If I wasn't, then I would have loved to have gone to Sheffield, done my punditry work, but then also worked with one of the players on tour, trying to add and give them some advice, and maybe help and support them along the way." O'Sullivan has long expressed interest in mentoring players, drawing inspiration from his own experience with 6-time world champion Ray Reardon during his formative years. He maintains specific criteria for potential protégés. He said, "I'd like to get a young player and help him develop. But I'd also like to work with a top player that wants to win the World Championship and who I think is capable of winning the World Championship and try and add something to their game." The snooker legend elaborated on his coaching philosophy. "I'd like to obviously nurture because I think that would be good, but then I'd like to get someone that's pretty much already there, but do what Ray Reardon did for me, which is just add that little bit extra. It became a massive difference to my game." O'Sullivan has reportedly been monitoring World Championship qualifying, where emerging talents like Stan Moody, Antoni Kowalski, and Michal Szubarczyk are competing for Crucible spots. Health concerns and physical recovery have become significant factors in O'Sullivan's decision-making process. He described the dramatic contrast between his earlier World Championship victories and more recent triumphs. "Last time I won it in 2012, 2013, I got up Monday morning and I could do it again. That was easy. Never had a close game, never had a decider. So, in many ways, when I look back, they were quite comfortable tournaments to win." The toll became noticeably heavier after his 2020 victory. "I woke up on Monday morning and felt all right. But then for 10 days, I just couldn't even think straight. I was drained. I couldn't quite work it out." The pattern repeated following his 2022 championship. "I won it again in 2022, and the same happened again. It's just an age thing. It had a weird effect on my body. I was shocked, to be honest with you. I can only put it down to an age thing because 2020 I was like, okay, maybe it was a one-off. But then when I won it in 2022, and it felt quite easy winning it that year as well, I still felt like my body had been battered." O'Sullivan's recent struggles extend beyond physical recovery. He admitted, "It's been a real struggle. I've tried to play my way through. I've had moments and glimpses where I thought, okay, this is okay. But on the whole, probably 3.5 years out of the last 4 have been pretty terrible for me, and that's kind of took its toll." The frustration culminated in January when he snapped his cue during the championship league. O'Sullivan says, "I kind of got a bit tired. It kind of ground me down to the point where I kind of lost the love for the game. That's why in January I snapped my cue just in temper, in frustration." Despite these challenges, O'Sullivan demonstrated his enduring skill during a recent exhibition in Saudi Arabia, where he compiled a 147 break in just 6 minutes and 24 seconds at his Riyadh academy. This performance, close to his record time of 5 minutes and 8 seconds set in 1997, showed he retains his technical prowess even without recent match practice. O'Sullivan maintains he will delay his decision until the last possible moment. He said, "I don't know yet. I haven't made my mind up. I'll probably make a decision on maybe 17th or 18th April. I don't know when I'm due to play my first match, so I'm going to try and leave myself as much time as possible."
Well, Mark Selby seemed to have taken full control of this final. From 5-1 down to lead 8-5. Higgins tonight couldn't make a 30 break to that point.
62.
But he's dug deep into these vast reservoirs of experience, and he now needs this pink, barring snookers, for victory. The whole week has come down to this moment. He won't celebrate yet. He wants the extra red. We may see a little celebration if this goes in though.
The 2024 Tour Championship final in Manchester witnessed one of the most dramatic comebacks in snooker history as John Higgins overturned an 8-5 deficit against Mark Selby to claim a 10-8 victory. Before we start the video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Breakmasters for more snooker updates. The match, played on Sunday, April 7th, saw both players produce 8-century breaks, equaling the record for a best-of-19 frame match in a contest that swung violently between the two four-time world champions. Higgins began the afternoon session in blistering form, compiling breaks of 102 and 102 to establish an early 5-1 lead. The Scot looked in complete control, adding a 94 to his tally as Selby struggled to find rhythm. However, the final 2 frames before the interval saw the momentum shift dramatically. Selby responded with consecutive centuries of his own, 112 and 136, to reduce the deficit to 5-3. The evening session saw Selby continue his remarkable resurgence. The Leicester player won 5 of the first 6 frames after the interval, including a 119 break in the 13th frame that put him 8-5 ahead. At this stage, Selby had scored 767 points to Higgins's 66 during this 7-frame winning streak, leaving the Scotsman visibly shell-shocked. To be 5-1 in front against Mark and then 8-5 behind, "He was just shutting me out totally," Higgins admitted after the match. What followed was one of the most extraordinary fightbacks in recent snooker history. Higgins, showing the resilience that has defined his 31-year professional career, reeled off 5 consecutive frames to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. The turnaround began with a 110 break in the 14th frame, followed by crucial contributions of 67 and 84 as he leveled the match at 8-8. The decisive moment came in the 18th frame, when Higgins produced a tournament-ending 132 clearance to complete his remarkable comeback. This marked his 8th century of the match, matching the record for a best-of-19 contest and securing the £150,000 top prize, along with an additional £10,000 for the highest break of the tournament, a 144 made in his semi-final against Barry Hawkins. Selby, who had been on the verge of claiming his 4th title of the season, was left stunned by Higgins' resurgence. "John was incredible from 8-5. I missed a pink to the middle at 8-7. Apart from that, I didn't do a lot wrong, but my head was spinning. Every mistake I made, John punished me. He stood up like the warrior he is."
Well, Selby seemed to have taken full control of this final. 5-1 down to lead 8-5.
The way he played from 8-5 was incredible, but
that point.
you know, that was like brutal
62.
from 8-5. I feel like I only missed
Dug deep into
other than that, like
these
all
vast
right,
reservoirs
just spinning some of the things.